Good afternoon, I'm Shania and this is One News Now. Malacanang says the price of Sinovac's vaccine will not exceed 700 pesos. Spokesman Harry Roque says one dose of the Chinese-made shots will be priced at around 650 pesos. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. previously said that the government's buying price will be the same as that of Indonesia's. Data from UNICEF shows that the vaccines from Sinovac cost almost $30 or over 1,400 pesos per dose.
Hindi po lalampas ng 700. So tingin ko po yan ang presyong BFF talaga. No? Pero wag nga po kayo mag-alala. Pag yan po'y na-deliver na at napirmahan ng kontrata, may obligasyon na po kaming sabihin sa inyo kung magkano talaga.
COVID-19 shots from British developer AstraZeneca could arrive in the country as early as May. Harry Roque says the first shipment will consist of 2.5 million doses ordered by the private sector. The remaining 14.5 million doses purchased by other firms and local government units will be delivered by the third or fourth quarter of this year. Roque reiterates that the use of AstraZeneca shots will only be allowed upon the approval of its pending application for emergency use. The City of Manila has launched its drive-through swab testing at the Quirino Grandstand. Will non-Manila residents also be accommodated? Let's find out from Justine Punsalang's report.
After months of providing free serology tests, the local government of the country's capital is now offering free RT-PCR or swab tests starting this morning. However, confusion ensued at the Quirino Grandstand as some people were not aware that the Manila LGU is no longer conducting serology tests. Those who wish to avail the free swab tests will first have to set an appointment with the Manila Emergency Operations Center or the MEOC. Some pointed out, though, that the MEOC phone numbers are unresponsive. Among them is Ryan Decamos, who needed a swab test result so he could go to the province. Ryan said he had not received any feedback after speaking with an MEOC representative on Friday.
Nung Friday po, pumunta po kami dito sa nila. Tapos pagdating namin sa bahay, tumawag kami kasi may nakita kaming number sa Tinawagan po namin. Tapos sumagot naman yung babae, yung kung taga rito. Sabi, binigay namin agad yung namin, yung pangalan, dalawa po kami ng asawa ko Tapos number. Tapos magbibigay daw sila ng ng tawag nito. Para bigyan ng number o mga nila.
Because of this, he and his wife went to the Quirino Grandstand this morning in the hopes of being accommodated. The Manila Health Department pointed out walk-ins are not allowed as it can only conduct 100 tests per day.
Tatawag po sila sa Manila Emergency Operations Centers. Yun po ang mag-i-schedule kung kailan kayo pupunta dito. Kasi 100 individuals lang po tayong sa ngayon per day. I-inform po kayo kung ano yung available slot na mapupuno.
Meanwhile, 62-year-old Remedios Morales was among the first 100 people who were able to reserve a slot for swab testing today. She said she is thankful that the Manila LGU is offering free RT-PCR testing, especially because it costs a few thousand pesos in private hospitals.
Para lang may peace of mind. Hindi naman po ako, palengke lang naman ako pumupunta. Yun nga lang, syempre, yung mga pagka may taong may bisita ka, ganyan, nakakasalamuha mo, para lang mapanatag po yung kalooban ko.
Although the site is called a drive-through testing center, patients who do not own vehicles may still come to the Quirino Grandstand on foot as they have a separate lane for swab testing. The COVID-19 tests are available for free to anyone Manila resident or not. Those who wish to avail the free tests can contact the MEOC to reserve a slot. For News 5, Justine Punsalang. We are One News.
The aircraft that crashed in Bukidnon over the weekend may have encountered engine trouble. Major General Rodolfo Cordero, spokesman of the Army's 4th Infantry Division, says that the pilot tried to execute emergency landing before the incident. However, Cordero noted that the military is still conducting a thorough investigation to ascertain the cause of the crash. The helicopter was on a resupply mission from Malaybalay City to a remote army base when the incident happened, killing all 7 on board. The remains of the fallen military personnel have been brought home to their families. We'll have more stories after this short break. Keep it here on One News. You are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. At least 30 deaths among nursing home residents who received the Pfizer vaccine were recorded in Norway. To help us make sense of this new development, we have on the line Dr. Ray Salinel. He is the head of infection control at the Hospital ng Maynila. Good afternoon, Dr. Salinel. Should we be worried about this new development?
Well, we still have to wait for the more in-depth investigation for what happened to Norway.
All right, so could this just be coincidental since the deaths were among elderly? As we know, the population in Norway is a little bit older compared to the ones here in Southeast Asia. So is it just really, the subject group or the test group that is or that we should be concerned about?
Well, that's the main problem actually. What really happened was the test shot was done in an elderly population. So there's a reason why we cannot say 100% that it's secondary to the vaccine that was given to them, or probably it was really has something to do with their condition. Remember, these are all, shall we say, not only terminally ill group, but also very old, very old, and they have other comorbid illnesses. So we still have to wait for further investigation.
All right, so what you're saying, Dr. Salinel, is that it would be prudent for us to wait for, further results or more thorough results of all the investigations into these deaths.
Yes, that's right, Sean. We cannot just conclude with 23 subjects. Okay, we still have to wait for a bigger population for us to know if this is really a coincidental or not.
So we do have a bunch of different vaccines. We have mRNA vaccines, we have live vaccines. What are these major types of vaccines, and what really is the best pick, if there is one?
Prior to this epidemic, what
Pointless.
we have prior to this epidemic, this pandemic, we have what we know is that we have a live attenuated vaccine, inactivated vaccine, weakened vaccine. Okay, and this has been proven to have helped the medical community combating a lot of diseases. There are a lot of vaccine preventable diseases that was really monumental. No, when this kind of vaccine was discovered, this mRNA actually is a very new technology. So we still have to have a bigger research, a bigger population, a bigger understanding of this kind of vaccine.
All right, but should people view it as dangerous just because it's new, or is it largely safe?
So that's the reason why we really have to wait for this vaccine that is the safest and the best vaccine. No, remember the shortest vaccine that was developed is like the mumps vaccine. We waited for about 5 to 7 years before it was developed, and that was the most safest and the best vaccine for mumps. We waited for 5 to 7 years, and yet here we only have like what 1 year and 2 months. So we still have to finish probably the trial, the phase of the examination. Remember, we still in the third phase of the trial, so we're still waiting for this result.
All right, having said all of that, Dr. Salinan, is vaccine hesitancy among Filipinos warranted, at least when it comes to the newer mRNA vaccines?
What I usually do is to show to the people what are the different vaccine preventable diseases, and to show that really vaccines can really help us stop or abate this pandemic. But we still have to make sure that this vaccine, there's a lot of vaccines, by Moderna, Pfizer, BioNTech, and Oxford, AstraZeneca, and there are a lot more. We still have to wait for further results for us to conclude, and for them to convince our people to go on this inoculation or vaccination.
All right, interesting insights. Thank you for your time, Dr. Ray Salinan, infectious disease doctor over at the Hospital ng Maynila. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao, and we are One News.